Hello guys, Uba here. First of all, I want to apologize for this awful mic quality. I forgot my good mic at my mom's house and I'm stuck using this very cheap mic, but yeah, I might re-upload this later on once I fix it. But today I'm teaching you guys how to model a gun in BD Craft Cubik Studio. Yeah. So first of all, we're gonna go to File, New File, and just hit new file if it asks you for anything. I'm going to get you guys familiar with all of our tools first. Here is the most common thing we're going to be using, the add cube. So we're going to go ahead and click on that. This will add a cube to our thing. We can move it by either clicking on it and dragging it around, or we can move it on the axes here. This is top view, this is um, side view, and this is uh, forward view. So you'll see how whenever I do this, it'll move it on my top view, kind of sideways. And this is for 3D view. This is more of just for a display purpose to kind of show you everything. But yeah. First things first, if we click on this one and then we press 1, we can rotate it. This may be because of a setting. If this does not work, you can go to Tools, Preferences, and then Advanced. In here, you'll have all of these keybinds. You can click on it and do like alpha 1. Alpha 1 is the 1 number on your keyboard. But yeah. So these are all of your keybinds, but I'll kind of go over them. To scale our cube, we're going to right click while hovering over it. This will bring this up and I can kind of just like drag to kind of expand it. Yeah, we can do it here too. We can do it here. Yeah, so we press 1 to rotate it, and we right click to expand. Now, whenever you guys first get this tool, you might be able to rotate like this, which we don't want, okay, for reasons, because Minecraft cannot have rotations like this. So what we're going to do is go to Edit Model Properties and click on Restrict Rotations. Now hit OK. Alright, so the gun I'm going to be modeling, we're going to be modeling this gun right here. I just found this cool little airsoft gun online. We're just going to attempt to remake this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this off to the side. If you have a second monitor, we can just kind of like switch through it so I can minimize that. But normally whenever I'm 3D modeling, I start from the barrel to back. So we can get started. So since this is Minecraft, uh, it doesn't have to look perfect. It can look kind of blocky, which is how I kind of stylize all mine. But what we're going to do is start at the barrel. So the barrel here, let me go to my picture. I really don't want to sorry about that, do this kind of edge design. That's my cat, I apologize. I don't want to do this kind of edge design on my barrel, so what I'm going to end up doing is I'm just going to make a barrel, okay? So how we're going to do that is very simple. This is how I do all mine. We're going to first center this thing. Sorry about that. And we're going to kind of drag it back, and that'll make us a little barrel. But since this is kind of like a compensator barrel, we're just going to kind of make it a little bit smaller. So there, very easy barrel. It looks like nothing, but if we put in some effort, it'll look pretty good. And now we have to make our little barrel hole, like where the bullets will shoot out of. So to do this, we're going to add a cube and put it into a 1 by 1. Let's go into this view and let's make it down 1. Let's move it up. Now this is where we will encounter our first problem here. You'll see that this is a 2 by 2, but we have a 1 by 1, so there's no way to put it in the center. So first of all, before we do anything, I'm going to make this flat by just dragging back, and we're going to put it here. Now this may clip in the way we know that if I try to hover over it, it'll kind of be hard. So let me go to Element. This will show us all of our elements. Box 2 is my barrel tube. So we're going to press 1 and we're going to rotate this a full 180 degrees to get it outside so I can hover over it now, as you can see perfectly. But now how do we center this? The way we do it is we're going to click on our cube here, or our plane. We're going to go to Objects, Move. this is where we can do slight adjustments, which we will be doing a lot. This is your X, this is your Y, and this is your Z. For X, I normally do 0.25, and for Y, I do 0.25. And it should center it almost perfectly. Oop, I made a mistake, that's very common. I have to remember that this is X, X goes forward and back, so instead of doing this here, we're going to control X that and put that in the Y. Or the Z, sorry. And if we hit OK, this will center it, like in the middle of our barrel. So there, we have ourselves a barrel. It's not much yet, but we will add some more stuff and make it look better. So second, if we go back here, you'll see that it kind of goes inward. So what we're going to do is we're going to get another cube. We're going to make this a 1 by 1 again, except make it a little bit longer. And we're going to do the same exact trick we just did. Let me move this down. Let's move it, same thing. That'll center it. Sorry about my stuttering, guys. Yeah. So now for part 2, we have to do kind of the barrel. So right here. Now this is kind of a complicated shape to get down, but once you kind of practice enough, it'll get very easy. So I'll kind of slowly walk you guys through it. So what we need to achieve is a round-like shape. Okay, so how we're gonna do that? So I'm gonna make this right here. Let's make it about a 2 by 2. Yep, perfect. Oop. I would say we leave about. Let's do. Oop, I just screwed up. Control Z. Let's click on this and let's move it back one. Yeah, that's fine. Let's move it back here. What I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna do this. I'm gonna hit Alt on my keyboard, and if I drag this, it'll duplicate it. So there's another little trick that will come in handy, like a lot. But this is how we're gonna make the barrel kind of visible here. But yeah. So now what I'm gonna do is let's actually move this kind of outward out here. There we go. And then what we're gonna do now is we're gonna make this little effect here. So how I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna get this here, gonna move it down here, let's move this up, and there. So now we have run into our second problem. This is too high, and we need to have kind of like an even width here. So what I'm gonna end up doing is I'm gonna click on this. I'm gonna go Objects, Scale. This is similar to the move, except it's scaling. So I would say we would need about half the size. Let's do 0.5. That'll scale it down to there. Perfect. We can click on this and hit Alt and drag up. Now here is where this goes a little bit too high. So let's go Objects, Move. Again, let's do negative 0.25. This will move our part down. And there, it fits perfectly almost. Yeah, there. Now I can click on this and this by holding Control and clicking on both of them, and I can hit Alt and drag this right there. And that'll fit it almost perfectly, yeah. No, it does fit it perfectly. Okay, well we have the sides done. How are we going to do this kind of slanted part here? Well, that's actually pretty easy. What we're going to end up doing, and actually before we do that, let's go ahead and grab this here, and let's put this in the center of it, so we can create that separation. Let's drag that there. Let's click on both of these and go Objects, Move, negative 0.25. And now to move it there. And now I guess this is like a little bit too close, so let's go to Objects, Move, and we're going to move this 0.25. There, it's centered now. So now what we need to do is make the slanted parts. This took me quite a while to figure out, but whichever way you're slanting your object, this point here, this green part, has to be facing away from the area of slant. So if I want to send it this way, for example, I want this part facing away. So now if I hit 1 and I slant it, it'll work properly. And I'll show you how that happens. So let's drag it up where our barrel is, kind of. Let's drag this down right there. So there. Now we have something like this. Now this is where our front view comes in handy, because now we have to click on this and hit 1 and hold it, sorry. And we're going to rotate this downward. And that will create a slanted kind of part. So I guess it should be a little bit. Actually, we're probably fine. Yeah. All right. Yeah, so there we have that part. Now we need to move it, or copy this one, move it back there. Let's make this a little bit longer, and let's move it 0.25 again. And there we go. There's our little part there, and now let's duplicate this and put this at the end. There. Now we have our slanted part. Now all we need to do is add a top to this. Now this is where it gets kind of tricky. So let's do this, and let's actually first add the very top to this barrel, right there, like so. I'm gonna increase this by 3, and I'll show you how this will work. So we're gonna move this negative, or actually in Z, negative 0.25. Let's move it kind of like back there. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm going to add this to the, yeah. Let's move this, objects move, negative 0.25, and I guess I think it's another negative, perfect. There we go. So now we have our little barrel here, one side done, now we need the other side done. So we're just gonna do the same thing, except this is where it gets kind of like, what? So see how this is still facing the same way? If I try rotating this towards the other way, it'll float in the air, which is gonna be very hard to adjust to. So what we're gonna do is make it go down. We're gonna go into our top view and rotate it 180 degrees again, right there. And we're gonna rotate it downward, and there. So now this is what we call, or what most people call Z fighting. Like, this is where two objects kind of like collide with another and make this weird part here. So good fix for this is just by clicking on it and objects move. And we're going to do a very, very small number. So like 0.12341. It fixed it a bit, but not very much. Let's do it again. Oop. What did that do? Oh. No, sorry, I'm being stupid. Move 0.0001. There we go. So now it's not going to be kind of colliding anymore. This will all look kind of more natural when this gun is actually done. But for now, it's going to look pretty weird. Yeah. So, now let's do the same thing on this side. Let's copy this here, and let's make it 3. Objects move 0.25. Let's grab this one here, move it 0.2. Oh, nope, I'm being dumb. Here we're gonna kind of scale this like that. We're gonna objects, not that, object scale 0.5, and bam. So believe it or not, we are not done yet, and we still have this Z fighting problem. So we're gonna object scale this time, and I'm gonna do 0.99. There, it's a very small movement, and it fixes it almost perfectly. So there. Now we have our top part. Now we need the bottom part. Yeah. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna grab this here. I'm gonna do down here, like so. I'm gonna rotate this downward until it's facing like this, and then we're gonna do that, or not that far, like a little bit. Yeah. Okay. So there. Let's do the same thing again. Modeling takes a while, so if you don't really have patience, then this is gonna be quite hard. But in the end, it all will look pretty good. So we're gonna move this again, backward, bam. Now we have ourselves this, and again, that's awful Z fighting. There we go. That should have fixed it. Yep. Here we do the scaling trick. Perfect. Okay. There we go. Now I'm gonna move this part here down, and then we're gonna grab this, and we're gonna put the bottom to this. And that's not exactly connected, so we're gonna do that. And objects move 0.2. Nope, not on that, on the Z. There we go. Let's move this up a bit so that we can actually kind of see it. Looks like we also can move this 0.25. There we go. Yeah. Now let's copy this side here. We're gonna add another one, like so. And this time, this is where it gets even more confusing, okay? Because if this is facing that way, then we need to have this one facing that way. But this is not somebody just to rotate like that, be fine. This time we have to rotate it down. And after that, we have to rotate it to the side. It's not that hard. It's just like a few steps you have to memorize. But in the end, yeah, it's not that hard. There. We just rotated that, and I guess I displaced that. So let's put that there. There we go. Now let's copy this and put this on the other side of our gun. Let's grab this and we're going to move this backward here. Do that. This time I'm going to do negative 0.25 and now move it into place like so. And there. So now we have our barrel done pretty much. You can obviously adjust it however you want. This is just me kind of not doing my best, but kind of doing it how I normally would. But let's do 1.1 so I can move this more towards like the edge. There we go. Alright, there. So now let's go back to this picture. And it seems like this is kind of more extruded outward. So a way that I would kind of fix this with is I would go most likely like that. I'm going to add that there. Add that there. And actually, I think it's fine how it is, now that I kind of look at it. The more you model, like, the more you do, I kind of, like, see things that, and, like, you're like, oh, okay. But, yeah, now let's do this top rail thing. All of this requires kind of, like, looking at something for a while and then kind of, like, understanding it later on. But we're going to get this up here, this kind of rail up here, which is this thing up here. And we're going to get this, and we're going to make it go far back. Because our gun does go, yeah, back a little bit. So this is like how big our gun's body will be, most likely. Yeah. So let's move that there. And there we go. This seems a little bit weird, so I'll move that back. We're going to grab us a little cube here. We're going to rotate it like that, I think. And then we can rotate it like so. Now, this is a common problem I have a lot of the time. So what, again, I would normally do is this takes a little bit more time again, but we're going to scale. Let's do 1.1, and we're just going to keep on kind of doing that. I could even do 1.2. I guess it could be a little bit more. There we go. Okay, so there. Now we have our rail done here. Yeah, so next, what I'm going to do next is I'm going to, this seems a little bit too intense of a height, so I'm going to go 0. Let's do about 7. Let's move this up. This one will about be 0.15. Not even, a little bit less. 0.05. I normally make my adjustments by 5s. So I'll go like 0.05, 0.10, 0.20, 0.25, yeah, etc. Let's do negative 0.15. There we go. Perfect. Okay. So there, our barrel is done. We have a cool little barrel done here. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make the body, which is kind of this shape. So again, we're gonna be messing with some more of these weird shapes. But I also noticed that sorry about that, at the back of my barrel, it isn't as long as this one is. So I would go about 2 back here. There we go. Let's move this one back. I guess it's fine if I do that. Now this is where you have to be a little bit more careful here, because you have to move that back and then move that forward. This one, I guess you didn't do that. Here we have to move. Oh, cool. Alright, perfect. So here we have our gun barrel officially done, I guess. Now this here, the back part of it, we aren't going to have to worry about that too much, because again, you're not going to really be able to see that. So I guess we're kind of like fine here. It wouldn't hurt to kind of do that scale trick again. 0.99. There we go. 995. Yeah, you see there are some cool tricks you can do here. And I should do it correctly. Oh, let's do these. Now this is where it gets hard on this pot here. So we had to do scale 0.995. Then we have to objects and move 0.005. It's actually going forward. We have to do negative. There we go. Okay. There. And then this here, I'm not going to touch that one because I already kind of like moved these two back. But yeah. Okay, now for the body. The barrel is always the hardest part for me. The body is kind of like the kind of go through and be done part. So yeah, we're gonna do this. So the body, it seems, it covers the entire top. So we also have to keep in mind that there's a slanted part up here. It kind of goes like that. I'll probably open my program and kind of explain that more. But it's kind of slanted, so we have to keep that in mind. So let's do it up to about here. And this is where we can be lazy and just do that. Move that back. There we go. So there, and then here is where we can add this part. This is where we fill that up. We go here. We rotate that like so. Now it seems a little bit too like straight because if we like look at it from here, it's a little bit, yeah. So what I'm gonna do is I'm not gonna delete that. I'm being dumb. Sorry. Is I'm gonna rotate this a little bit outward. I'm gonna go there. Objects move 0.25. I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna objects move 0.25. There we go. So now it's like a little bit out, as you can see there. So we can actually do a little bit of a trick here in a second, but let's do that. Let's move that there. We can rotate this up and then rotate this backwards. We can rotate this downward. Move negative 0.25. There we go. So now we have this cool little shape here for our body, and we're gonna fill the top of it like so. We're gonna put that block there, and we're just gonna expand it, because that should fit in about perfectly. Now, as we can see here, we have these edges here, and they're kind of annoying. So I'm gonna take this out, expand it one, put it back down, move it back one, and objects move 0.25, and that will it's just off by like a tiny bit. I guess we can do the scaling trick. So move negative 0.05. We have to like first find out where it's most fitting. So yeah, about there, it's kind of harder to like notice. I guess we could be like a little bit more safe and go like negative 0.01. There we go. Yeah, so that's kind of hard to like see. So I mean, it's not like that big of a deal, but scale, go to Z 1.1. We're just gonna keep on doing that. Scale 1.1. And that was a little bit too much, so we can Control Z that. And it seems that we have to do a decimal, so, or we're actually always doing decimals. I'm being kind of dumb today, guys, sorry. There we go. So that's about right there. Object scale, let's do our trick again, 0.99. Let's actually go scale 0.999. There we go. Move negative 0.121. There we go. So the back here of the body is normally where you'll always have to like pay attention to, because that's where you can be able to see it. Alright, now for probably the second hardest part of all of this, the ammo holder and the grip. This part takes me not too long, just is kind of like annoying to do, but it has to be done. So what I'm going to do is we're going to make the grip here, which is shaped like this. It goes up and it goes kind of like that. So this shape isn't really very possible to create, but we can somewhat do it. So I would say it's about like that high there for ammo holder, or yeah, the clip insertion area. Let's objects move 0.25. Perfect. Now to create that little slanted thing, I normally would do this, where we go like that, and we rotate it upward. We rotate it like so. Bam. Oh, yep, and here, whenever it's like, whenever it has like a weird rotation, you'll get like things like this. So if I'm like this is me dragging down. It'll kind of like get all like messed up, kind of. So what we have to do is we have to do something like that. We have to go like that. We have to make it a little bit long, and then we have to go up here, and then we can do it correctly. There. So now we have that little slanted effect there. Now we can make the kind of this part here, this tiny rod there. So what I'm gonna do is normally I will go like this. We go a little bit out, like so, and then I will get another one here, and then I'm gonna make this too high. We're gonna do that, rotate it this way, put this here, and then we're gonna do that. This is where we kind of like slant it like that, and that will happen a lot, but you just have to like kind of like find a way around it, like I just did there. And then we're gonna grab this, and we're gonna do that and drag it all the way there. There we go. Move, let's do negative 0.05. Let's move it up, 0.05. And there. A little bit more, I would say, actually. There we go. So now we have a little ammo insertion here, where we can actually not make this as intense by doing object scale 0.9, objects move 0.1, oh whoops, negative 0.1. There we go. So it isn't as intense now, which is always a little bit better, I would say. Let's move this back a little bit. Move 0.2, object scale 0.8. Now you see scaling isn't as like it's a bit more intense than just like moving. So you have to kind of like play with it for a bit in order to understand this. But like as you saw there, I moved it forward 0.2 and I scaled it back 0.8, which should get rid of 2 off of its scale, but it kind of is weird. So we have to kind of do stuff like this, which is not right. I wanted to do 1.05. That's fine. Okay, there we go. Alright, so now that we have our clip insertion here, I guess we can move this back a tiny bit. Like, let's go move 0.4. There we go. Now, I would say that down here at the barrel is kind of bland, so let's add like a little rail down here. Sorry about my stuttering. Let's move this up 0.25 and there. So that added like a little bit of more detail. Alright, so now we have our little guard here, and we can see this UV, or yeah, Z fighting as we call it. Let's do 0.99. Oop. Object scale 0.9. Objects move. This is where we have to have like a smaller 0.05. Oop. Objects move. Negative 0.05.